As you can see, the JK Dana 30 is ready to come out of the Jeep, and the reason being is we have something a little bit better and a lot stronger to put in it. Let me roll this thing out here. I think you guys are going to be very happy with the upgrade we're doing here. So these axles might look a little familiar to you. We got the Currie 60 rear and the Currie 44 front, RCV, Reed Racing knuckles, all those types of things, because they came out of my JKU, which unfortunately got totaled recently when I was rear-ended. So I figured, we could sell the axles and get some money, or we could do the cooler thing and put them underneath of the Grand Cherokee. Financially, not the smartest thing. We're throwing $10,000 worth of axles underneath of a $2,000 car, but in the end, the car is going to be worth maybe $5,000, so I call that a win. But let's go over the specifics. So we got Reed knuckles, RCV shafts. We got 2.5 ton aluminum steering. We are going to be swapping this out. I've got a few other upgrades. Inside, we've got an ARB air locker, 513 gears. We got the matching locker and gears in the back, obviously. So we'll have front and rear lockers, and then we'll be able to put 40s on this, no problem. I don't think we're going to run those exact 40s up there, but 40-inch tires is going to be the end size that will be on this setup, and it'll hold it no problem. This is an upgraded Dana 44, and then the back is the Currie 60, so that's more than enough to run it on this setup. But let's go ahead and get this thing ready to go underneath. This being from a JK, it should pretty much bolt right up. The coil perches are going to be just a little bit out of line, maybe about a half an inch. That shouldn't be a big deal whatsoever though on this setup. Everything else should pretty much bolt up underneath of there. The axle that's underneath of it now actually has the same exact mounting brackets, and it bolted up just fine. But we're kind of just going to be moving these axles around. The Dana 30 back into the JKU, the Dana 44 underneath the WJ. We're kind of just reusing all these axles and putting them underneath. I will have to drill out that upper control arm bracket to a 12mm hole so we can use the bigger bolt on the JK style bushing. They use 12mm, the WJ uses 10. So a little bit different, but having a bigger bolt, there's really no downside. Another plus is this axle is definitely a little bit wider than the stock setup on the WJ, so that'll be nice as well. It'll be a little bit more stable, and then we'll have a lot more weight down low. The back axle is where our challenge is going to come because that diff is angled a little bit. We're going to have to get a custom bridge setup from Currie and then mount our 4-link brackets on top of it. It shouldn't be too hard. It'll mount here and then go up over the top and use these holes here to mount. It's going to be a pain to change the diff fluid, but as you can see, the upper control arm bolts and brackets have to be mounted above the diff, and with it angled like this, pretty much the only option you have is that. Spring perches, I think, are going to have to move. We're going to need new shock tabs. They're all bent up. Track bar bracket we're not going to need because it's 4-link. I'm not sure how it's going to fit with the stock gas tank there. We might have to relocate that and make a fuel cell setup, but this axle will be a huge improvement strength-wise and just capability-wise. This will be a very, very solid setup for a WJ. But the back axle will be getting built and installed in an upcoming video. We're only going to focus on the front. Another huge plus about this setup, unfortunately, the back's semi-float. I don't really like that, but it is a 5x5 lug pattern, meaning we can still use JK wheels on it, which are going to allow us to use these Black Rhino beadlocks, which will be great because I won't have to buy another set of beadlocks for another Jeep because these things are pretty expensive. Obviously, we're going to change the ring. It was paint matched to the JKU. We're going to go ahead and paint it blue, paint match it to here, silver wheels. I like that look. It matches the silver steering very well, and then it's also going to match the hood vents that are on this. All right, so we've got the axles pulled out from underneath the Jeep. We've got them all sitting here, the stock WJ axle. This one, technically the weakest of all of them. Then we got the JK Dana 30. This one's also pretty weak, but it's going back underneath of my JKU. It'll become kind of like an off-road rig for now. And then we've got the Dana 44, which visibly is much bigger. It's definitely stronger. I've ran this setup for 5 years now on my JKU with 40s. This weighs significantly less than a JKU, so it'll be perfectly fine. We've already got all the brackets. These coil buckets actually work better than the ones on the stock axles. They fit the coils a lot better, and they have a little slot that the coil falls down into. So they sit real nice and just works out better. On the JK axles, you really had to force them down on there, kind of hit it with the hammer a few times. It was not a lot of work, but they were definitely real tight on there. They weren't going anywhere, that's for sure. But this setup definitely a little bit better for that. We've got the Reed knuckles, RCV shafts, 513 gears, ARB air lockers. This pretty much is everything we're going to need to do some pretty crazy trails in the Grand Cherokee. Now, of course, it couldn't be smooth. There was one nut that gave us an issue, and it obviously had to be the one that was the hardest to get to out of everything, but the steering here is stuck on. I'm about to get that off. And then we've got the track bar. I do have a JK track bar. I haven't fully figured out which one I'm going to need. And then this is the hole I was talking about earlier that you're going to drill out the 12mm if you're using a JK upper bushing. You can swap this out for a WJ bushing, I believe. However, I figured a bigger bolt isn't really a downside, so we'll go ahead and just drill that out. Not much of a problem. But I'm going to go ahead and drill that out, and then we'll roll this axle underneath, get everything connected up, sort of set up in place. We got all of our hardware, everything ready, and I'll get this rolled under here. I showed you guys how to do it with the JK axle, so I'll link that video down below if you need an exact video. but I already showed you it. So we're just going to roll this thing underneath, bolt it up, and I'll show you guys what we're working with here at the end. All right, so a few bolts later, and this thing is underneath the Jeep. Now there's a lot of little adjustments that have to be made, as you're going to see. So for starters, that upper control arm's not adjusted. We're still setting all of our angles. We're going to go ahead and need to center the axle. As you can see, that coil is real slanted. That's not because the coil buckets are slightly off. That's because the axle is way off, because the track bar is not connected. So we're going to go ahead and figure out the track bar situation. The steering, this was on here as a placeholder. We're going to swap this out. Other 2.5 ton aluminum steering is going to go on the setup. That should be plenty strong. And I'll go over all the benefits of aluminum steering when the time comes, but it's definitely the way to go on a setup like this. I also picked up some like light pod mounts for the knuckles that actually turn as you turn the wheel. They're really cool, and I figured that would be a nice addition. I think that would be interesting. So I went ahead and picked those up. So we got to get drive shafts after that. We've got to connect the air lines for the air compressor. I'm going to put it somewhere in the back. I'm thinking the other side there, kind of where the pocket is on that far side. Mock something up for a bracket there. Then we'll do drive shafts. I'm not sure if I'm going to change that flange out or not. We'll probably do a 1310 U-joint drive shaft on the front. Then the back already has a 1350 set up, so we'll keep it like that. Speaking of a back axle, I did in the meantime get that bridge I was talking about earlier, so I can give you guys a little representation and show you guys what that's looking like. We had to go to Currie to get this because they're pretty much the only ones that make it, because their axles are one of, I think, 2 different axles that have this slanted diff. But as you can see, these blocks will get welded onto it, and then these bolts will hold pretty much the bracket down, and we'll have these 4 bolts up top. And I'll show you how it sits on here, unless the axle's upside down. So I'm not going to flip it around, but it sits up there. It gives us a spot to mount our upper control arm brackets for the 4-link setup. It's going to be such a pain to change the gear oil on this thing, but this is pretty much our only option. We're going to need new shock tabs, lower control arm tabs. I want something a little bit better clearance. As you can see, we hit these on rocks quite a bit, and we don't really need all this adjustability, so we'll go ahead and change that out. I think I'm going to have to move these coil perches. New bump stops. We'll be able to cut off our upper control arm brackets. We don't need them anymore. I guess I might leave them, but I don't know. We'll see. And then we'll be pretty much wrapping up this axle swap. We'll need drive shafts, and we'll need to run the air lines for the air lockers, and we should be good to go. Like I said earlier, we're going to be running 40s on this setup, so I know they'll last with 40s. The JKU is on 40s on these exact axles, and the WJ is a little bit lighter than that, so we shouldn't have any issues here. I don't think I'm going to be running these specific tires, but we're going to be running a 40, 1250, 1350, somewhere in that range. 17-inch wheels, some bead locks, and while I have your attention, if you stayed this long, we got some parts for the XJ. You guys might have seen it. I figured I'll show you. We got the cage here from XO Fab, full hybrid cage. It's going to be really cool. And then for the suspension, the 6.5-inch Rocklink Pro Kit from Iron Rock Off-Road. It'll be on a set of 05 Super Duty axles, so a Dana 60 front, Sterling 10.5 rear, caged, custom bumpers, new interior, harnesses, all that kind of stuff. We're probably on 42s, I think, is what we've decided for this. So it'll be a pretty big build, but it'll be really, really cool. But we're waiting for all the parts to get here to start on this build. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching these videos, and I will see you in the next one.